Hey yo, what's up? It's your boy TFG Bino back in the Ultra League. Got Arcanine into the Steelix, and I'm gonna stay in here for a while because due to not having close combat on my Gallade, I'm not gonna do much better with either of my other Pokemon. So I decided to let this first move go through, guessing it's either Crunch, Psychic Fangs, or Breaking Swipes. Knowing it wouldn't do that much, I let it through. Gonna send the second Crunch here, get a defense drop, and I'm gonna swap out in the Crest. Because now these Grass Knots should do some alright damage for me. And this opponent actually plays it pretty weird. So we see Pita here. They go for the second Crunch, and if they get the defense drop there too, by the way. And if I'm not mistaken, yeah, they shield that Grass Knot, which I thought was very odd. Double shielding the Steelix just does not seem like the move ever. But yep, they did it, and that's cool. They're letting off this third Crunch. I almost shielded, but decided not to. Built up to a Crunch or a Wild Charge, figuring I'm going to need it in the end. And got this Lugia here. This is not a great situation. I don't have really any good moves to go up against it. So I'm just going to be throwing Synchro Noises, because at least they are stab, not very effective charge moves. Get into a third here. Actually managing to get in the Lugia quite low. Throwing a Wild Charge, taking that out. The Swampert takes me out, but I can get to a Leaf Blade here. Take them just about out. They get to a move, I shield that up, and I'm going to be able to Psycho Cut farm them down for a good game well played to my opponent. It's actually crazy that I won that. I just knew I was losing. Coming into this Feraligatr here, and I wanted to see if he had Waterfall, but I accidentally swapped into my Gallade anyway. I decided to swap anyway, but I accidentally swapped into my Gallade. So I decided to seal the first move, thinking it would be an Ice Beam. It's actually, I'm thinking it would be a Hydro Cannon, but it's actually an Ice Beam. So going for the Synchro Noise here because they swap into the Skeledirge. Going for a second. They will decide to shield this up, and I actually make it to a third because they try to farm me down. So they shield this as well. And my main thing with this team is getting shields down. So now that I'm here, I don't really I know that my opponent should be trying to bait me, so I call that will be a Crunch or Disarming Voice and not the Shadow Ball, so they can save energy. They come in with this Crest. Well, they catch my Wild Charge onto their Crest. I store up a move, catch the Grass Knot onto my Cresselia since I am debuffed, and I didn't want to try to take that move. Gonna take another Grass Knot, and here I make a bit of a mistake. I throw two Moonblast first, or at least one Moonblast first, which I probably should have just went for the Grass Knots. The 10% chance of a debuff wasn't really worth it. Crest attack isn't that high in the first place. So, oh no, it was only one Moonblast, man. I start going for Grass Knots here. The next Grass Knot will take them out. They're going for one here. I know I can survive this. What they're gonna do is I CMP, and they actually went CMP, which I didn't expect. So at this point, I'm just gonna throw the Grass Knot at a Great, thinking I would be able to get extra Psycho Cut in. I don't, but it doesn't really matter. If Alligator comes back in, I get to a Grass Knot. I'm gonna swap out into Hisuian Arcanine immediately, throw this Wild Charge that I built up to earlier for a good game well played to my opponent. Into the next match, we lead it into the Slowking. What I'm gonna do is throw the Crunch here. We actually see Pita, and I'm pretty sure since it's such a low energy move that it's gonna be a Surf. I don't know if he has another low energy move, but I shielded up. I'm going to throw 3 of these and then swap to catch onto my Cresselia, the next Surf. They stay in for a second here and build up some energy, probably trying to catch a Grass Knot onto their Muck, but since I only have Grass Knot and Moonblast, I was going to throw Grass Knot anyway. They throw the Thunder Punch here, and I'm going to go for a Moonblast here. Again, going for the debuff. It never works out. I never get the debuff. So going for another one here, seeing as that does a significant amount more damage than the Grass Knot does. They actually throw here, which is fine with me. I'm going to let this move go through. Come back in with, I believe, the Hisuian Arcanine. Yep. Gonna let this move here go through. That neutral Thunder Punch does a little bit more damage than I thought. So I decided to throw the Crunch here instead of trying to farm down. Gonna no bubble it since it's gonna take them out anyway. They come back in with this Slow King. And I'm gonna look to farm it down with these Snarls if they don't change out. But they do. They change out into an Ampharos. So I'm gonna go for a Crunch here. They let that through. I go for a Wild Charge now. And they're actually gonna let this through as well. Now where I messed up is that I did not expect them to have Zap Cannon on their Ampharos. They take me out, farm me down for a good game well played to my opponent. So we had a 2-1 right now. Still a good record. Into Skeledirge, always a good lead. They swap into a Waterfall Gyarados mid-crunch so they get that Waterfall through. Quite devastating for my Arcanine, who is double weak to water. I'm gonna throw a Crunch here. That gets me very low, but I can get to another Leaf Blade. I probably honestly should have just built up to a Synchronoise there and thrown it, but hindsight is 2020. So, you know, not mad at myself, not kicking myself too much. Coming in with the Cresselia, gonna build up a nice amount of energy, then look to throw this Grass Knot before they can get to another move. They no shield the Grass Knot. We take them out, and here, I believe, yep, I shield this move up. I rarely shield my Crest, but I do shield this move just because I don't want to waste all this energy I have built up. They bait me with the Disarming Voice. I technically bait them with the Moonblast. I believe I'll shield this as well. Yep, shielded 2 Disarming Voice baits, but at this point I can take them out with the Crunch here, or at least just about take them out. But they swap and catch onto a Sneasler. So now I'm throwing a Wild Charge to take them out. And I have to build up, but they actually throw another Disarming Voice. So I'm gonna guess this is a single move Skeledirge. I'm able to get to the Crunch here and take them out. I'm pretty sure otherwise I wouldn't have been able to win that game. Good game well played to my opponent. Into the 5th and final match of the video. Leading into this, geez, I forgot what it's called. We'll see in a second here. Nidoqueen. And I swapped to catch the Earth Power, which is a good start for my battle. They do farm up more, and we CMP for the Grass Knot and Poison Fang here, which is exactly what I wanted. Getting the Grass Knot here, this will get them low unless they do decide to shield, which I don't believe they will. They don't. And they swap out into a Trevenant. This is another moment where I probably should have baited first, but they shield up the Moonblast. And here I'll just throw the Grass Knot because I realize I won't be getting to another Moonblast. They take that not very effective damage on the chin, not doing a whole lot. And I'm gonna swap back into the Hisuian Arcanine if I'm not mistaken. And again, whenever I have 2 shields, I kind of always expect people to bait. Sometimes it doesn't go right, but others it does. In this situation, it probably wasn't a bait. They might be running Seed Bomb Foul Play. I've ran it on my Trevenant before. It's quite a surprise for the Pidgeots that come into you. Gonna farm down that Nidoqueen as they swap out of their Swampert, and as anybody can see, this is a good game well played. This first Leaf Blade will get shielded. The second one will take them out for a good game well played to my opponent. And we're gonna get into the battle rewards here, picking up all that good stuff. 3 rare candies, a double, catching that, making it to rank 19, getting my charge TM. Have a nice one.